tell me what they are?
Did you know the dinosaur that terrified the world nearly destroyed the movie that created it? Jurassic Park wasn't just science fiction, it was a revolution. What Steven Spielberg, Stan Winston, and a small team at ILM built in 1993 redefined how movies are made today. Behind every roar, every blink, every drop of water on that dashboard is a secret story you were never meant to hear. Some of them changed cinema forever, others almost shut it down. So grab your flare and don't move, because these are 20 secrets that made Jurassic Park more real than anyone ever imagined. Number 1, the T-Rex that stole the movie almost destroyed it. Built by Stan Winston's team, this animatronic weighed 12,000 pounds, and it hated rain. During the paddock attack scene, water soaked through the foam skin and short-circuited the motors. Every few minutes, it would suddenly twitch or roar when nobody was touching it. Crew members screamed, cameras rolled, and Spielberg said, "Keep it going." What you're watching isn't acting. Those faces are real panic. The monster they built became alive, even when the director yelled cut. Number 2, the raptors inside the underground cave weren't just movie monsters. They were hazards. The animatronic bodies were packed with high-pressure hydraulics, powerful enough to break bones. Inside that tight cave set, operators couldn't see clearly, and any wrong move could injure the cast. Sam Neill said he could feel the wind from the raptor jaws every time they lunged, that close to his face. At one point, a raptor head slammed into the rock ceiling, showering dust onto the actors. The crew froze, but Spielberg whispered, "Don't stop. Keep rolling. That tension you see, that fear, it's not acting, it's survival." And the chaos stayed in the final cut. Number 3, the raptors in Jurassic Park sound terrifying, but the truth behind their screams might be the funniest thing you'll hear today. Those shrieks, those growls, those tense breathing sounds, they didn't come from dinosaurs. They came from tortoises. Yes, tortoises. Sound designer Gary Rydstrom recorded 2 giant tortoises at a wildlife park. He noticed the strange rhythmic noises they made and thought, this actually sounds perfect. Then he layered in horse breathing, dolphin squeaks, and even a baby scream to create the raptor's sharp hiss. That's why the raptors feel alive, because every sound is real. Real animals, real recordings, real chaos. So next time you hear a raptor stalking through the kitchen, remember, you're not listening to dinosaurs. You're listening to the weirdest sound mashup ever recorded. Number 4, before a single dinosaur broke loose, Jurassic Park was already collapsing. Look closely. The warning signs were everywhere. Security systems flickered. Cameras glitched. The fences weren't failing because of dinosaurs. They were failing because the humans were already losing control. Dennis Nedry didn't just shut down the park. The movie hints he'd been sabotaging it long before the storm hit. Watch the monitors in the control room. Random errors, dropped signals, incomplete data. Hammond talks about spared no expense, but everything around him shows corners cut and chaos building. Even the lunch scene foreshadows the entire disaster. Malcolm warns the park will break down, and it already is. The brilliance is subtle. Spielberg makes the environment unstable before the monsters show their teeth. Jurassic Park didn't fail because of dinosaurs. It failed because the humans built something they never truly understood. Number 5, that heartbreaking scene with the sick Triceratops. It's one of the most surprising moments in Jurassic Park. But what you see on screen wasn't CGI. It was a full-scale, remote-controlled puppet built by Stan Winston's team. Under that heavy hide were people, puppeteers in a pit, moving the head, the eyelids, even the breath. The chest rose and fell with pneumatic pumps. The nostrils flared, the tongue moved. It breathed next to the actors. Sam Neill and Laura Dern said they could feel the animal breathe against them. That closeness made the moment feel real. It made the actors react honestly. Here's the twist. The movie never explains why the Triceratops is sick. Early drafts had a subplot, poisonous berries and an environmental clue. Spielberg cut it during filming, so the creature is alive and suffering, but the cause is left a mystery. That unanswered question isn't a mistake, it's a theme. Humans brought this park to life, but they still don't understand the life inside it. The Triceratops walks off sick and unresolved, and the film's tension gets deeper because of that silence. Number 6, the Dilophosaurus that kills Nedry wasn't just a dinosaur, it was Spielberg's personal monster creation. In real life, Dilophosaurus didn't spit venom, didn't have a frill, and wasn't small enough to play peekaboo. So the team invented everything, from the rattling neck flare to the slimy venom blast. To pull it off, they used a full-size animatronic head with hand-pumped slime tubes. The frill itself was operated by a puppeteer hiding behind the set, yanking cables to make it snap open with that terrifying flutter. Wayne Knight's reaction when it opens. That scream is 100% real. They didn't warn him how loud the mechanism would be. And here's the twist most fans don't know. The roaring sound wasn't a dinosaur. It was a blend of hawks, swans, rattlesnakes, and a howler monkey pitched down until it sounded alien. So the first venom-spitting dinosaur in movie history? Not science, not accuracy, just brilliant filmmaking and pure nightmare fuel. Number 7, the Gallimimus chase. They're flocking this way. It wasn't supposed to look that real. Spielberg's crew actually filmed Sam Neill and the kids running through an empty field. No dinosaurs, no CGI, just a wind machine and a few orange flags marking where the herd would go. Months later, ILM animators studied real ostriches at a wildlife reserve to capture the speed and balance of herd motion. They layered the CGI herd over the live-action footage, matching every blade of grass and shadow by hand. And that final moment, where one Gallimimus slams into the fallen tree, used a hidden log prop and motion blur to sell the impact it was the first time a fully digital stampede felt alive. And it changed how every creature movie was made after it. Number 8, when the crew filmed the raptor feeding pen, nobody expected the set to feel that real. The cow being lowered into the paddock wasn't CGI. It was a full-size puppet rigged with hydraulic tethers and hidden handlers underneath every movement. The kicking legs, the frantic thrashing, was performed live. But the real fear came when the raptor animatronics inside the cage started to fight back. Each one was controlled by up to 5 puppeteers, moving claws, tails, and heads in perfect sync. During one take, the hydraulics jammed, and the metal claw burst straight through the cage bars, almost hitting a camera operator Spielberg refused to cut. He told the team, "If you're scared, good. That's the point." That's why when Muldoon shouts, "They're lethal at 8 months," you can see the actors actually step back, because for a moment, they weren't sure the cage would hold. Number 9, the electric fence scene didn't just look dangerous. It actually pushed the cast and crew way further than planned. When Tim climbs the fence, the structure wasn't a CGI background or a lightweight prop. It was a full-scale steel grid built on a 30-foot frame, wired with hidden pneumatic shakers that made the whole thing rattle like a real power surge. The stunt team originally wanted a dummy for the fall, but Spielberg refused. He believed the moment only worked if the fear felt real. So Joseph Mazzello, the actor playing Tim, trained for weeks with a stunt coordinator, practicing the drop into a padded rig until he could fall naturally without stiffening his body. But the real shock came from something no one told him. The fence really did jolt, not with electricity, but with a compressed air blast timed exactly when Dr. Grant pretends to shut the power back on. You can see Joseph's entire body snap back from the scare, because he didn't know the blast was coming. That's why Ellie's scream and Grant's panic feel completely genuine. The kid wasn't in danger, but the surprise was 100% real. Number 10, the Jeep chase. The moment where Ian Malcolm shouts, "Must go faster," was way more dangerous than anyone realized. To shoot it, Spielberg had a full-scale animatronic T-Rex mounted on a motorized rig, rolling on a track behind a real moving Jeep. But the problem? The T-Rex was faster than the Jeep. Every time the driver slowed even slightly, the dinosaur's head would swing forward and nearly smash through the back window. Jeff Goldblum later admitted he wasn't acting scared. He was watching a 2-story robot gaining on him with no brakes. On one take, the Rex lunged so close it knocked the Jeep's rear bumper. Spielberg kept it, because the panic you see on Goldblum's face is 100% real. The chase worked because the danger wasn't visual effects. It was physics, momentum, and a 12,000-pound creature that didn't always stop when the humans did. Number 11. Everyone remembers the goofy little cartoon character, Mr. DNA. He pops up, cracks jokes, and explains how dinosaurs were cloned. But here's the wild part. That sequence isn't just for laughs. Spielberg built it with real genetic science, disguised as a theme park video. The animation team worked with molecular biologists to model how amber extraction might actually work, right down to the mosquito's blood sample being degraded over millions of years. Even the swirling DNA strand you see isn't random. It's a simplified illustration of actual gene sequencing techniques from the early 90s. Spielberg later said he used Mr. DNA because the real explanation was too complicated. But he refused to dumb it down. So he hid the accurate science inside an animated joke. You think you're watching a silly break in the action. But the entire story of Jurassic Park, cloning, chaos, and everything that goes wrong, is buried inside that 2-minute cartoon. It's the movie's most important science lesson, and most viewers never realize it. Number 12. Before the T-Rex crashed into the visitor center and saved the survivors, Spielberg had already told you exactly how the ending would play out, and almost nobody notices it. When Alan Grant and the kids first enter the museum lobby, the camera lingers on the massive T-Rex skeleton towering over the raptor skeleton beneath it. That layout wasn't random. Production designers built those fossils in a very specific pose, the Tyrannosaurus standing over a defeated velociraptor, as if locked in a battle frozen in time. Spielberg uses the shot again when the group walks through the lobby later. The bones framed perfectly like a storyboard panel. This is visual foreshadowing at its peak. So when the finale hits, the real T-Rex grabbing a raptor and smashing it through the identical skeleton, the audience feels the payoff, even if they don't consciously realize why the museum wasn't just a set. It was a silent spoiler for the ending from the very beginning. Number 13. The raptor ambush that kills Muldoon isn't just a suspenseful scene. It's Spielberg secretly switching genres. For 60 seconds, Jurassic Park stops being an adventure film and becomes a full-on horror movie. When Muldoon steps into the jungle, listen closely. There's no music, just insects, distant wind, and the sound of grass shifting. Spielberg wanted viewers to feel predator vision, like something was watching you, not Muldoon. The ferns brushing his legs? Those weren't props. The crew hid stunt performers inside the foliage, tugging real plants to create the illusion of stalking movement. And the raptor that distracts Muldoon? It's not CGI. It's a full animatronic head mounted on a dolly track, slowly sliding through the brush. Time to Muldoon's breathing. But the real trick, the legendary clever girl moment, was filmed using what Spielberg called delayed framing. He holds the camera still for half a second longer than feels natural. That tiny pause makes your brain think, where is it? And then, the raptor erupts from the right side of frame. That scream from Muldoon? Completely real. The animatronic snapped closer than he expected, and he jumped back for real. Spielberg kept it, because authenticity always wins. Number 14. The very first minutes on Isla Nublar are a masterclass in silent storytelling. Watch the helicopter landing. Watch the blocking. Hammond stands in the open. Control, wide smile, a child at his theme park. Malcolm drifts to the edge. Chaos theory, skeptical, feet planted like a warning sign. Grant hangs back. Hands tight, posture closed, a man who trusts facts, not fantasy. Ellie moves between them. Curious, warm, the bridge. In 30 seconds, the camera stages the whole film. Control versus chaos, science versus wonder, danger disguised as progress. Spielberg doesn't tell you the theme, he arranges people to show it. So when the park collapses later, the story feels inevitable, because he already wrote the argument into the room. Number 15. The biggest clue that Nedry was going to betray the entire park was sitting right on his desk. Spielberg didn't throw random junk in that scene. Every item is a clue about who Nedry is and why he's about to crash the Jurassic Park. His workstation is buried in candy wrappers, soda cans, old computer manuals, and cheap toys. It looks funny, but it's actually telling you something. He's underpaid, overworked, and completely checked out. When he spins around in his chair, you'll notice something else. A stack of printed hazardous materials forms. The art department placed those on purpose. They foreshadow the embryo theft before Dodgson appears with the shaving cream can. Even the Hawaiian shirt he wears is part of the story. It's the same kind of shirt Costa Rican coaches wear, quietly hinting that Nedry already plans to escape the island. So while the characters think Nedry is just messy, Spielberg is literally showing you his motive in plain sight. The joke desk is a warning. The park wasn't undone by dinosaurs. It was undone by a guy who had been planning it from the moment he clocked in. Number 16. Dr. Grant's raptor claw isn't just a cool prop. It's a warning the entire movie quietly revolves around. In the opening act, Grant terrifies that kid by describing how a velociraptor hunts. You're still alive when they start to eat you. It sounds like a scare tactic, but Spielberg uses that moment as the blueprint for the entire film. Throughout Jurassic Park, the claw becomes a symbol of extinction. Not for the dinosaurs, but for outdated ideas, outdated systems, and outdated people. When Grant eventually drops the claw at the end, that's not random. It's the moment he lets go of his old life. The life where he didn't want kids, didn't want change, didn't want chaos. And here's the secret most viewers miss. Everything Grant tells that kid about raptors happens exactly the same way later in the movie. They stalk from the sides, they hunt in pairs, and they wait until you think you're safe. The claw didn't just foreshadow the raptors. It foreshadowed Grant's entire transformation, from a man stuck in the past to someone finally ready for the future. Number 17. One of the most iconic shots in Jurassic Park didn't come from CGI. It came from a guitar. That perfect water ripple, the calm before the T-Rex attack, became a symbol of movie suspense. But Spielberg couldn't figure out how to make it. Rain machines didn't work. Speakers under the dashboard, too loud. They tried dropping weights, tapping the cup, even blowing air across the surface. Nothing made that hypnotic circular vibration. So Spielberg told his effects team, I want the water to ripples the way sound feels in your chest. They were stuck until one of the crew brought his guitar to set. He plucked a single low E string, ran the vibration through a hidden metal plate in the car, and the water cup rippled exactly like a dinosaur's footsteps would shake the earth. That moment, simple, quiet, unforgettable, wasn't science. It was rock and roll physics. And today, that ripple shot is studied in film schools as one of the smartest practical effects ever created. A guitar string made movie history. Number 18. That iconic Jurassic Park gate wasn't a miniature or CGI. It was a real 25-foot structure built like an industrial machine. Spielberg wanted guests to feel like they were entering a living, breathing theme park, so the crew engineered the doors using full-scale hydraulic pistons, the same systems used on construction cranes. When the Jeep drives up, those flames you see aren't visual effects. They're live propane burners mounted on steel arms, blasting real heat across the set, and the creaking sound that wasn't added later. The wooden frame twisted so loudly under the weight of the hydraulics that the sound team kept the natural groan in the final cut. Every time those gates opened, the ground literally shook, and the cast's reactions were completely genuine. It wasn't a movie entrance. It was a machine built to intimidate. Number 19. The quiet lunch scene in Jurassic Park wasn't filler. It was Spielberg's hidden message about the entire movie. While everyone remembers the dinosaurs, the heart of the story is right here. At that round table, John Hammond proudly explains his dream, but Malcolm, Ellie, and Grant tear it apart in real time. Malcolm warns about inherited power, Ellie talks about ecosystems collapsing, and Grant stresses nature's unpredictability. Spielberg shot it like a courtroom. Every character framed in opposition, every cut tightening the tension. And here's the secret. This was a last-minute rewrite to give the film its moral spine. Hammond stops smiling. Malcolm stops joking. The tone of the movie shifts right in front of you. This moment tells the audience the truth. The dinosaurs aren't the real threat. The humans are. Number 20. There's a moment at the very end of Jurassic Park that lasts less than half a second, but it explains the entire story. As the helicopter lifts away from the island, Alan Grant looks out the window and sees a flock of pelicans gliding over the ocean. That shot wasn't random. It was Spielberg's hidden message about evolution, chaos, and the future of the park. Pelicans are the modern descendants of prehistoric creatures, proof that life doesn't follow rules, fences, or the plans of men like Hammond. Grant realizes that dinosaurs were never the point. Life adapts, life changes, life moves on. That quiet look, just a breath, just a blink, is the exact moment he lets go of his fear, his doubts, even his old theories. It's the emotional closure of the entire film packed into one tiny symbolic shot. And unless you were paying very close attention, you probably missed it. And those were the 20 hidden secrets buried inside Jurassic Park, from animatronics that came alive on their own, to tiny visual clues Spielberg hid in plain sight. If you loved uncovering the science, the chaos, and the filmmaking tricks that shaped this classic, you're in the right place, because this channel goes deeper than behind the scenes. We break down the mysteries Hollywood never explains. So if you want more hidden movie secrets, more iconic scenes decoded, and more moments that change how you watch films forever, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and jump into our next full breakdown. Because just like Jurassic Park taught us, the adventure never stops.